Hi everyone. Hello. We are live right now. I always do this so that I go back.
Hi everyone.
I can hear myself on the other channel. I mean on YouTube, so we are good. Nothing crazy. Yes. Okay. So who is here? We have 2 people here, 4 people watching. That's amazing. Let's jump back here. Let's be official. Hello and welcome to WAI ASKS. Does that even work? And oop, I don't even know. That was like 2 seasons ago, so I should probably stop saying that. And we have all these people. Hello. I can't pronounce the whole name. Hi. I'm just saying hi to all the people. So today, I'm super excited. The second interview of this month already. No, that was March. So this is the first interview of April, and I'm so excited. We were just talking backstage, and we know each other, but we never like speak to each other, like voice to voice. And it was such a strange experience because we text each other on any event that happened. I'm like, girl, did you hear about that one? Girl. And then we'll just talk, but never like face to face or voice to voice. So that was a treat. So without further ado, we please get ready to give a big round of applause. The amazing, the lovely, the beautiful Juli. Ta-ta!
Hello.
Asians in the
everybody.
house, yes. From Peekaboorose. At
Hello.
first, when I first saw your channel name, I'm like, what is this supposed to mean?
Girl, I don't even know. It was just like a random thing that popped in my head. I was trying to find a name for my Instagram, and like I wanted like not my real name, and I don't know why that popped in my head. It was literally the first thing. I don't know why, and I just kept it.
Is your last name really Rose, or does it make up?
It's my middle name. Yeah.
Okay, Mrs. Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Rose. That's my favorite flower, by the way.
It's one of mine too, actually. Yeah.
It's classic.
It is.
Okay. So let's see. Everybody's saying hi to everyone. If we do not say hi,
Jamie. Hi, Tyrone.
Hi, it's because we are.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, Laura.
See, okay, this.
Hi, Shane.
She like this person right there. This Miss Julie is amazing. I was like, I don't remember anybody's name. I can't pronounce this the handle because English is my second language, and
you're awesome at it. You are awesome.
Natalie, I remember this one, right?
Hi, Nat.
Natalie. Horrible. Hi, lovers.
Hey, T. Hello.
Hi. So, like, she said that she actually write down channel name and
if there's a channel that I keep coming across and I've asked that person their name more than once, then I will like jot it down somewhere.
I should start
because I feel like an a-hole constantly asking for that person's same name. So yeah.
Oh boy, I should take your advice. I should start doing my little notebook and. But that's my brand though. I always pronounce people's name and but that's horrible.
It's charming.
Okay, so we have a couple more people here. We have D, that one I remember.
Hi D.
Hi D. And Benabel. Hi Benabel. Did you make a Stop Asian Hate video?
I guess I did. I mean, I sorta.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I talked about it. I did talk about it. Yeah. I guess I hashtagged it too. So yes, I did.
Okay. That one I have to watch because I haven't watched it yet.
It was my saying thank you to everybody who, reached out to me and who checked in on me you know, when the Atlanta shootings happened, and just kind of talking about my reaction to everything. So this is very short.
Wonderful. I have to check that out. So if you're not following her, I have her channel link down below in the description. Follow her. You won't regret it. Fabulous. And I really appreciate all your video that is so chill and is real. Like you talk about, it's not like, oh, it's so pretty. It's, oh, and just look at this. You're like, yeah, well, that works for me. That one doesn't really work. And I appreciate those. Instead
Thank
of
you.
everything is like, oh, look at this. It's so cute. Oh, that one is so cute. And you actually give like genuine opinion.
Thank you. Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what is needed in our YouTube or even TarotTube, so that we get some actual real evaluation or opinion, right?
Yeah, I always try to be as honest as I can. And if I'm just going to crap talk a video, like, you know, in a video for a deck or something, then likely you won't see me do, you know, I mean, I want to be also like polite and courteous to a deck creator, you know,
Right.
and not completely roast a deck. But
that's exactly,
yeah,
that's
so,
what I'm saying. So
yeah.
you would actually say what works for you,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
what you like and what you don't like,
Right,
rather than,
right.
oh, I hate this piece of
Right. So there is such thing as constructive criticism versus just tearing a new one into some, you know, a deck and a deck creator. So yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, so comments are coming in. If you have any like burning question, please hold on to it. Sit through this 1 hour interview, and then at the end we'll open up to everyone so that you can ask any question, and we will do a Q&A at the end. So let's dive in. You also created how many decks? 4 decks? 1, 2, 3, 4 decks, right?
Yeah. Yes.
A Norman, an Oracle, a Tarot.
Yes. Two Lenormand, 1 Oracle, 1 Tarot.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I am gonna do. They're all in Make playing cards, right? I'll drop that link right
Thank you.
And I boop. Hey, Julie and Victoria is here. Hello.
Hi, Julie.
Okay, so that's the link if you want to buy any of her decks. Okay, let's get real there. Do you make money on Make playing cards?
I mean,
like,
no, not really.
10
My
cents?
decks are too, I guess, they're not expensive enough for me to make a huge profit. Like we're talking, you know, every once in a while I'll get maybe $100 or something,
Okay.
you know, based on, you know, depending on how many sales. And so, okay, that affords me a couple decks to buy. So really it's just kind of fun spending money. And anyway, these decks weren't for profit anyway. I made them because they were just for me. And I was having fun, you know, playing around with, you know, manipulating vectors and designing and stuff. And so, so my putting it up on Make playing cards, I mean, that's just, you know, if people enjoy them, that's great. And so it's not really a profit thing. I mean, if I wanted to make a profit, then I would probably, you know, try to manage the overhead and actually ship them, get all the copies and then ship them myself and market and all that. But I'm not interested in all that. So
that sounds like headache.
Right. Not a good time for me. So,
and I do not know any of those things.
I don't know how Belle does it. I don't know how you do it, Belle. She's a machine, but I could not. I don't know.
I think Belle. This interview is not about Belle, but we'll drop a little truth about Belle. I think Belle can do she is influencer, I think, you know, the way that absolutely. You know, she handle things. I think she can do like a online, like how to do you know, get your business up in order.
She does have that already. She already has like how to be a deck creator. I think one of her courses, she's already got it covered. Don't worry about it. Like she has octane in her veins, so she's got it down. So yeah.
Okay, so all about you. Let's get to know you.
Okay, let's get back to me.
Thank you so much. The lovely Miss Julie. Okay, so let's do. Y'all know the first round is the rapid fire. Because I like to, spice things up in the beginning, and then we'll just pop this question fast. Are
Okay.
you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Okay. So first question: what is your sign? Your astrology sign?
Oh, Gemini.
A Gemini. Okay. Do
Gemini, yes.
you feel like you connect to those signs?
I
Same true.
don't know because I suck at astrology. I feel like some of it, yes. Like I wouldn't even be able to tell you what a Gemini, like Gemini characteristics are. I think they're supposed to be very communicative, which I feel like, yeah.
You are, yeah.
And maybe one of the traits is that they're kind of like flighty and indecisive. I don't know. Maybe some people in the live can offer some insight. Like I truly, this is how bad I am with astrology. So
comment in the chat session.
Yes,
Is Julie indecisive?
Do I match my sign?
Yes. Is she a true Gemini?
Am I
based
a
on
Gemini?
Yep, based on what you have seen her on her videos so
Yes,
far.
exactly.
Yes or no? Comment down below. Okay, second question. Your Chinese horoscope animal.
That would be either like a sheep or goat, depending on which source.
Okay, sheep or goat. Number 3, what is your patronus or your animal that best describe you or connect to you most?
Elephant.
Elephant. Really?
Yeah, ever since I was a kid, it was elephant.
Okay, we'll pencil that back.
Okay.
We'll talk about this. Is a rapid fire. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Favorite food?
Oh, carbs. Like anything with carbs in it. I mean, like pastas and pizza and rice and
Do you like rice?
noodles and pastries and
Really?
cake and yeah, tacos and just carbs. That's all carbs, right?
And ladies and gentlemen, and she still look like this.
Oh.
Hate emails are gonna like,
That doesn't mean I eat all those things. I just really love.
You just enjoy them. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Favorite color?
Purple.
Purple. Where are you born? Where were you born?
I was born in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. And then where are you living now?
I am now living in Virginia. A few minutes away from DC, Arlington, yeah.
Okay. Do you have any pet peeve?
Yeah, I have many pet peeves. Oh gosh, what is a pet peeve of mine? One that happened recently is, you know how when somebody, they like get your attention and they're almost kind of begging for you to ask them what's wrong or like ask them to like,
Yeah.
Julie, oh my God. Like I'll get a text like that. And it's just after that it's like, yes, may I?
You cannot believe what happened.
Just give it to me. Just spill the tea already. Like you want to tell me. So just tell me. So
you are a very straightforward person.
I mean, I would like to think so. Yeah, I think I am.
Okay.
I just, I don't understand that kind of conversation starter. It's like, oh my God, I can't even. And it's like, and then it's crickets. It's like, oh, okay. Are you expecting something from me? Like, so yeah, when I see like Facebook posts like that, and I don't know what we call it, would it be called like clickbait or fishing for a response, or I don't even know, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all of the above, I would say.
Yeah.
So
just kind of like, just bring it on. Just tell me right now. Maybe, yeah, I guess I'm impatient. So that's a flaw of mine, but yeah, just tell me.
Gemini.
Is that a Gemini?
I don't know. I'm throwing it out there. All the astrology people.
If
Val,
it is.
please answer. Okay, next question. Coffee or tea?
Both. Coffee in the morning, tea in the afternoon and evening.
Same. Over here is the same. And then which tarot deck, oracle, playing card you really want to buy next?
Oh gosh, that I really want to buy. Okay, well, first of all, I've already backed 2, but the latest one that I've been thinking about is so. Do you know Brant from Moonbaby?
Yes,
Okay. Did you see that he has a Kickstarter?
I just backed it.
You did.
I just
Okay.
backed it.
Okay. So the thing is, I don't really like traditional RWS. Like I
Mhm.
don't ever use my Centennial deck. I don't. So I'm like afraid I'm not going to use that deck, but it's beautiful. I love what he did with that deck.
Mhm.
So I just really love the 70s vibe of it. I love the color palette he chose. Like I love everything. So, but I'm not sure if I should get it because I don't know if
Yeah.
I'll use, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I know I will use it. I just
yeah,
love that palette. And
it's so pretty. Oh my gosh. I'm
I
so tempted. I have 28 days to decide before the Kickstarter ends. So I'm going to wait and think about it some more. Yeah.
Sure.
I really, he did such a great job with that.
I was amazed. Because it's kind of inspired by, I can't say the name, Holly
Hoi polloi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and I have that deck, and I kind
You
of
do?
look through. Yeah, I do.
Ooh.
Because you
I
know
guess I shouldn't
me.
be surprised. Yes, I should not be
You
surprised.
know me. And I was like, I love the new take. Like
Yeah, me too.
I just love it. So I'm like, I have to
Absolutely. You
be.
did such a good job. So I am very tempted by that one. And then another one I've been going back and forth on is Tarot of Mystical Moments.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know about that one either, just because the cards seem so big.
It is bigger.
Yeah, and I have a hard time with bigger cards.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm trying to be more mindful about the decks that I get.
Mindful. That's the word. That's the word of today. You are a very mindful person.
Oh, thank you. I
You
try.
are. Well, everything that you
try.
have this close right now, you write down their name, that you write down their, you are being very mindful about things, right? Me, I'm like, oh, whatever. Oh, new deck, I'll buy it. You are like mindful.
I do try. I try. I'm not always
Very.
successful. Ask my husband. I'm not always successful, but I try.
Have you shown your husband on camera yet?
Once. One of my very first videos was kind of like a vlog style trip to the Renaissance Fair,
Mhm.
a local Renaissance fair, and so you get to see him there. But that's
Oh.
really the only time you get to see him.
Now everybody's gonna run to your channel.
Yeah.
Look at.
But you know, I've asked for him to come and do a tag with me online and stuff, and he's just no go. So
Okay.
I have tried. I've tried.
Someday.
Yeah.
Talking about mindful, I wonder it connect to the elephant.
I don't know.
Why you chose the elephant?
Well, the elephant to me, I think culturally it's representative of kind of good luck and fortune and also I just love the behavior of elephants. I love how they are gentle and very family oriented, but at the same time they could F you up so bad, so there's that strength and then there's that gentleness and you just see, especially when they're in their herd with the baby elephants, like just that strong bond. It's just, I don't know, I just love everything about them. And they're so cute. So yeah.
And it is kind of like a mythical creature with the ear are
Huge ear,
so
yeah.
big. Like you don't like the idea of it, like the structure of it, the trunk are so big, right?
Yes.
The body mass, and yet
it's amazing. They're amazing animals. And so
yeah.
So yeah, I've always just, ever since I was younger, I've always just gravitated towards elephants. I did have a dolphin phase as well when I was a kid, but always elephants.
All right. Well, now that we got that opening fun out of the way, we got to know the fun, kind of like the fun answer. You said about cultural significance as the elephant. Let's talk a little bit. Let's dive in the second part of the interview, which is
Okay.
20 minutes in. I'm on time right now. We'll dive into a little bit heavier subject. Let's talk about cultural things. Like you are Korean,
Korean American.
Korean
No, yeah.
American. Would you talk like your family, like which generation and yada 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 all those
So
stuff?
yeah, first generation Korean Americans. My parents came from Seoul, Korea, or my mother came from Seoul, and my dad was raised in Busan, and so yeah, first generation. My sister and I, my younger sister and I, and I would say growing up, it was definitely about assimilating, which I think my generation. I mean, as an Asian American, that was at top of mind, to blend in, to seem non-threatening, and to just assimilate, know the language. And I was also, because my parents worked so much and such long hours, I was a typical latchkey kid, which, just means that as soon as school ended, I would have to come home and look after my younger sister. So I'd come home to an empty house, and my parents are still working long hours, and I would have to then, look after my sister and be in the home. So I think that growing up, I definitely felt some resentment, because on one hand, I knew that they were doing the best they can and they had to work. On the other hand, I don't think I got to experience a lot of the things that other kids, especially other Americans, would have experienced, which is the after school activities, being in band, being in sports. That was just never an option for me. So a lot of the time, yeah, I spent in the home.
How was your relationship with your parents, even though you don't have a lot of time because they work so much?
I mean, so it was. I mean, there were definitely some rough patches, especially in my kind of teen angsty years, like many other teens. But definitely the cultural aspect did play into it, because the language barrier between my mother and me, her English, she can do a little bit of English, but not fluent. And so she's not comfortable speaking English. Of course, my being born here and assimilating and going to American schools, I lost my native tongue very quickly. I was probably fluent in Korean until about when I hit kindergarten, first grade, and then yeah. So the language barrier did cause a lot of tension, because oftentimes she would accuse me of not understanding what she was trying to say, that I would misinterpret some of the things she was saying. But actually, I felt like I did. I could understand what she was saying in Korean, and understand what she was telling me or what we were arguing about, but I couldn't articulate back to her in Korean in a way that she could understand me. So it's almost like we felt like we just could not understand each other. We could not communicate. But it's funny, like she was never a tiger mom, so to speak. It was, my dad was more the tiger dad. He was the strict one. He was the now he's mellowed out so much and he's such a gentle bird. But like when he was, I think that's just kind of what they knew, from their tradition and their own upbringing. Just that kind of the traditional Korean way of raising a child. You're strict on them. You have expectations and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, so there were phases of tension for sure, but overall, I can't really complain. I feel like
I cannot imagine though. I cannot imagine. And I'm proud of myself right now, girl. I am proud of myself to bring all these guests on my channel. because last week, I learned about the adoptee experience, and now I'm learning your experience. I have never crossed my mind that I cannot communicate with my mother.
Yeah.
Because I'm still fluent in Cantonese. So even though sometimes she doesn't understand, and she doesn't speak English that well, and she doesn't understand it, I can immediately translate, and we can actually communicate, right?
Yes.
But the idea of cannot get it like completely aligned,
yeah,
that is rough, girl.
it's rough. Yes, it's difficult. Oftentimes my dad would translate. He'd be there to translate because he's fluent in English, absolutely fluent, so he can understand everything. He can speak well. But then, what makes me feel guilty is that a lot of times I think my mother was left out of conversations because, my dad and my sister and I would be talking, whatever. And she'd be like, what's going on? And my dad would be too, he didn't want to take the time to translate all that, And so he would just be like, oh, never mind. It's not important. So I think she, certainly felt left out and that she couldn't be a part of those conversations, which, makes me sad. But, that was just kind of the dynamic.
Which I'm also interested in talking about that because it's a huge part of my upbringing, my life till now, at this very moment, Asian guilt.
It flows through our veins, I think.
Put it like out of my mouth up to the universe. Asian guilt. From your personal experience, expectation, mostly it's also like I want to throw that to you also. Expectation versus reality, which leads to Asian guilt, I guess, because the expectation is for you to understand, to speak the language, and you can't do it, and then all those stuff, right? Let's talk about a little about your experience for Asian guilt.
So I think my Asian guilt comes a lot from, well, certainly when I was younger, it was that, again, that idea of feeling sometimes resentment for kind of having to be a latchkey kid while my parents were out working. I was expected to and wanted to assimilate, right? You try to fit in, especially when you're in school. That's one of the most important things for all kids, right? At that point, to fit in. And so there was that kind of mixture of resentment and then feeling guilty about feeling resentful because how much they're working, that they made the sacrifices to come here to America, the land of opportunity, right? And so, I would feel guilty about my resentment. And then at the same time, also feel frustrated because while they, there's this expectation of assimilation, there was also expectation that I should still be Korean in a lot of ways, which they didn't really set up well for me because they weren't there a lot of times, understandably, because they had to work. And then the language got lost. And so there were definitely arguments of like, you expect me to be this way. Why didn't we just stay in Korea? Like, why didn't you just stay in Korea and have me in Korea? Because that way I would be able to be the way you want me, the Korean.
Right. The expectation, right? Yeah.
And at the same time, it's funny because my parents, they weren't kind of like the, I guess maybe stereotypical, traditional Asian parents that were, they didn't say, okay, you're going to become a doctor, a pharmacist, or a lawyer, and that's it. Or you're going to do something that's financially lucrative, and that's it. When I told them that I wanted to pursue writing and be a college professor, they did not stop me. They were so supportive in that, which I just couldn't believe it. And even now, like for instance, I don't have kids, and they've never pressured me to have children, or so it's just a lot of these things where I feel like some of my Asian friends that have more of the traditional, kind of tiger mom, tiger dad parents, they get a lot of this flack and a lot of these expectations that are very weighty on their shoulders. Like, I have been so fortunate that in that way, they are definitely more, I don't know,
Open.
open.
Yeah. Western in a way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, do whatever you want. You're living in America, achieve your dream while,
So I mean, that's been great too. So yeah.
This is, I don't know if you can disclose this, but I don't know. I don't even know if this question is a valid question, but I toy with that idea, or I struggle with the idea. Which, I'm going to ask it, which do you lean more towards? If there's a, how do you say, barometer? West or East?
West.
West.
Yeah, West. I mean, it's what I know the most. It's what I know. Just being born again here, raised here, growing up. My parents didn't really even do the Asian holidays or anything like that. They just did not really instill those things. So we never celebrated Lunar New Year. Like, we never, I mean, maybe as a little kid when I would go visit the elders, we would do sebe and, some of these cultural things. But then as my sister and I got older and, we were in school and they were still working, and it just, all of that fell by the wayside. And so definitely, young adult into even these past few years, kind of reclaiming that knowledge of my culture has been something that has sorely been missing from my life. And so I'm trying to make steps to kind of go back to that, reclaim that as much as I can. But yeah, it's just something that for whatever reason, I mean, sometimes they would have, my dad would be like, okay, so from now on, you can only talk Korean in the house. Like, only talk Korean in the house. That's the rule. That rule lasted maybe a day, not even a day. You know what I mean? So kind of these half-hearted attempts, but yeah, nothing that really stuck. So.
And now I'm very intrigued about, I appreciate you saying that, because yet you lean towards West, whatever that means, right? But yet you still feel so ingrained with the Asian guilt. Do you, right? Which is like,
yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
When a couple of my American friends will be like, well, you're in America now. You need, forget about that. You need, and I'm like, I don't know how to explain it to you, but it's ingrained in us in a way.
Yeah.
And I wonder, I'm intrigued, when you look at yourself in the mirror and you can't deny what you see, right?
Absolutely.
Your skin color, the way that you look, you can't deny the Asian guilt, but yet you feel so deeply that you are leaning towards the West. That's how your upbringing, right?
Yeah.
Do you find that struggle unbearable, or do you even care about that struggle? How about that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've thought about, okay, should I, like, it really is this kind of uncontrollable and just automatic reaction, depending on the situation. So it's not something where it's like, we joke about Asian guilt. I think in our community, we joke a lot about Asian guilt, and it is something that, I don't even know how to explain it. It's, I struggle with it only in that I don't know how to make myself feel better sometimes when I feel it.
Because I think that's part of the reason is when you look at yourself, like you can't deny it, and then with all with the upbringing and the expectation, when you kind of step away from the Asian root or whatever, yet you see your parents and you see society, there's I don't know how you can erase the, like, you can't erase this.
Right.
You know, it is there.
Right.
You know, you can't just be like, oh, forget about that guilt and just move on, because you see what it is. I guess we can work around it, but you know, it's there.
It's there, and especially when, so and I don't know if the experience is different for an adoptee versus, you know, someone who has their natural parents, but given, I think it's certainly strong because even though I was born and raised here, there is still that cultural tie to my parents just from being raised by them,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So from a young age, I have this awareness of certain cultural things and values, Asian values, traditional values of respecting your elders, of, you know, family and all these things. And so I think that's part of it as well, that is also ingrained in me. So even though most of my life, all my life has been here in America, I mean, there's still that element that's part of my DNA. That's part of my experience. Yeah, it's like you said, that's nothing I can erase, nor what I want to erase.
Right.
But at the same time, reclaiming that and being able to immerse myself in that in a way that doesn't make me feel like a fraud is also difficult, you know, because it's like it is, you feel like you're in limbo. You're not American, fully American. You're not fully Korean.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I mean?
I'm loving this right now, because it is true though, because I don't have your experience. For me, it's the struggle literally living here because I'm not born here. So I can kind of immediately differentiate West and East because I'm like ingrained in both, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for you, like upbringing wise, living in America, that's a completely different experience. Have white friends, have all, you know, different race, you know, all those surrounding you. Yet you probably don't have a lot of Asian friends when you're growing up.
Absolutely right, exactly. Yeah, growing up, I mean, I was in I grew up in Amish country, so that's like white.
Mm-hmm.
White on white, you know. I mean, maybe a few Asians, even fewer black or brown people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely. And then, but then, you know, stepping into college, when I went to university, it's a huge university,
Mm-hmm.
so diverse. It was amazing, and that's where I did meet more Asian people. So it's very interesting because I met more Asian people and befriended more Asian people, and at the same time also felt very much an outsider from other Asian people, certain other Asian groups, where it's like, clearly, okay, I'm not invited to your table. Like I don't belong at your table.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very interesting as well. Again, this feeling like you don't really belong
The imposter
on either side.
syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel how do you cope with that? Because I would imagine that sometimes it will hurt your feelings when you grow up, that you're not welcome here, and then you don't quite fit in here, but yet you feel so deeply certain way, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard. I think college was where actually I did begin to feel more comfortable with myself and find my identity. All in all, my college experience was fantastic, and just learning about myself. But yes, still having to navigate a lot of these experiences, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, that remind me that I am not fully Korean, you know, that I don't know the language, and that I was born and raised here, and that I do stick out like a sore thumb if I were to immerse myself in a full-on Korean community. But then, you know, at a certain point in time, and I do remember some instances where I did try to, well, so like in college, I took Korean class, you know, as a way to try to brush up on some basic Korean, actually learn to read and write. And that was an environment where I definitely felt like an outsider, because you had the other Koreans coming in. They're just taking it for just to get the credits. They're fluent in English. They know how to read and write because they were born in Korea and they had come over here to the States. I don't know how many years before, but they were fluent in English, also fluent in Korean. So being in classes like that, again, reminded me of where I felt like I lacked. And I remember getting out of like even grad school and I just really trying to, just embrace my culture, just embrace more. I even let my parents try to set me up with some Korean dudes. I kid you not. I was like, yeah, okay, sure. Because, in Asia, like matchmaking is just a very common thing.
Yes.
So, and this was, before online dating, which is just basically another form of matchmaking. If you think about it, like you're just matching yourself. But yeah, I was like, okay, Mom, like if you want to try to set me up with your dentist's son, or whatever. So, I actually did let them matchmake me. I mean, not that I would have gone off and married, but like, just go on a date. Like, and so, yeah, that was a disaster. But I tried.
Besides that experience, do you have any more horrific experience from that perspective? Like, do you feel more? Let's just dive into it. Let's just be honest. Do you feel more being like which group kind of target you more, being mean to you or bully you more?
Oh gosh. I would say growing up, I mean, it was, I would say the couple of Black or brown people in my school made me a target. So they would bully me. And also white people, but in a different way. I think that, one side was more just kind of more aggressive about the bullying versus others, which were a little bit more like jabbing. But even then also I've had experiences from Asian men, like in college, just giving me the stink eye, making it very clear that they were upset with me because I had a white boyfriend at the time, or something like that. So, I mean, yeah. So I've had experiences from different groups. Yeah.
When it comes to upbringing, what I would say religion or what spiritual practice that your family did introduce to you?
Nothing really. I mean, Christianity, I think it was just the thing in our area, Christianity. So they let me tag along with a friend to church and Sundays, youth group and whatever. So I did that for a time, but that didn't really stick with me. I was not interested. Not that my experiences with Christianity were bad at all. I just was a kid that just did not want to be in church, did not want to be in youth group. And so when I told my parents, they were fine with my quitting that, and they never forced me into a religion. My father's side is, I believe, they were Christian. My mother's side was Buddhist. But they themselves never practiced either way.
Sure.
Either religion, really. They were just very kind of,
So how did you discover your own spirituality or whatever that leads to your path right now?
I think, well, as a kid, and I've said this before in other videos, like I'd always been fascinated with kind of the mystic, the occult side, the witchy things. And so I think, and also I did dabble in trying to learn about different religions, Catholicism. I just really try to read up on everything, Buddhism, and I feel like some of the more basic tenets of Buddhism, I really do, they resonate with me. but I would even like read up. I would even talk to, like, you know how the Mormons would come to your door, or like Jehovah's Witnesses would come to your door. I would like talk to them. I'd be like, yes, tell me about, tell me, let me. I want to know exactly what it is you guys believe. It's very interesting. But ultimately, none of that resonated with me, and so I'd say I kind of came full circle with just when I re-immersed myself in tarot and became a part of this community. It is kind of coming back to what I've always been intrigued with and always been attracted to. So really my pull is towards that kind of eclectic, my individual practice, and mixed in with a little bit of like Buddhist flavor, but I would never call myself Buddhist. I would never call myself anything really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever want to go back to Korea and learn that side of spiritual practice? Because, I'm sure they have a whole thing over there.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Well, I did visit Korea once when I was like 10, and that was fantastic. Haven't been back there since. I would love to go back, but again, it is that ingrained fear of feeling like, well, I don't know the language. So, people assume that, oh yeah, dump you in Korea, you'd be fine. You'd be fine. No, I would not be fine. I would not be fine. I would be stranded like any other foreigner. I'd be stranded. So it's almost like I would love to go back. I would love to go back with someone who is like fluent enough to get us around. But absolutely, one day that would be great to do that. Yeah.
Do you crave to have that more? Because I think with your language, with your upbringing, whatever in English you can, you can learn, right? Do you crave the unknown more, like learn Korean, learn about?
Yeah, I think absolutely, especially within the last year or so, feeling like that was a part of my life that was definitely missing, and I thought I had accepted that about myself, like, well, this is what it is, and but I really was feeling that lack. And then towards the end of last year, do you know the deck creator of the Morning Calm Oracle? Yeah, so so her sister, Sarah, her sister did like this call out for women from Korean diaspora to kind of come together in this group to get to know each other and form this community. And so I felt like that was so synchronistic. It was just what I needed at that time. And so I went to that group, and it's been thriving ever since. And Sarah actually has started kind of teaching conversational Korean. So I've been like learning Korean from her, which has been awesome. And so, these are just some ways that I've been trying to get back in touch with my culture. And then on a separate note, like I'm on this BTS kick, which was completely like unexpected. Like that wasn't even part of my curriculum. Like I wasn't trying to, but that just kind of fell into my lap, which has been fun. So yeah.
Oh, BTS.
Yes.
I'm more interested about like what is your hope and dream, like regarding to your your family within your family. What is your hope and dream for your family?
I mean, my hope and dream is that for my family, that that everyone finds fulfillment. There are family members who don't have that right now, who are struggling, and so that's one wish. For my parents, that they just hopefully can live the rest of their lives in retirement happy and relaxed. Because I know, especially for my mother, who, because she grew up without having much, financial security is very much always a worry for her. Even though there isn't a need for worry, she worries about that, and understandably. And I think that has been kind of ingrained in me too, to worry about that for them. Like if they can't provide, I should be able to provide. Like if I, and then so that leads back to like, another example of Asian guilt, right? Like I should be able to
take care of the family.
And if I can't, then that would be devastating and I'd be a failure and all these things, right?
Family shame,
not good enough, not, whatever, all the things.
Yeah.
So, so I think for my family, I would just, I would want them to just, live out the rest of their lives just happy and in a world where it's not as ugly as it is right now.
Well, since we talk about that, how are you feeling right now?
I'm better. I think the last couple weeks were pretty rough for me, which, funny enough, in my offline life, I didn't really talk to many people about it. I just kind of kept to myself, and it was really mainly people from our community that reached out to me, and try to check in on me. Whereas people in my offline life, I didn't really feel like I could go to them. I just didn't feel like I could. And so it was very tough. It was very tough. And I did just recently take off a few days from work to just kind of decompress and all that. But yeah.
Do you worry about your family, your mom and dad, your sister?
Yeah, I checked in on them to make sure that they were okay. And they were saying that in their area of Pennsylvania, they haven't really had any news, locally about increased anti-Asian sentiments or anything like that. There haven't been. So thank God for that. But, I still worry, of course. And for myself, luckily I live in an area of Virginia where I do predominantly feel safe. And since that incident, it's like, well, you never know. Right. You just never know. Maybe I should start carrying around the taser that I have, that I still don't know how to use, but I should learn. So yeah, these are the kinds of thoughts that were going through my head. Like, okay, I should, protect myself, find ways to protect myself, because you just never know.
Yeah. It's unnerving that it's just so much louder. Like I said before, like immediately I turn my head if I walk down the street, if I hear something, and also the trusts are gone. I have to be honest, the trusts are gone completely. Like I do trust, the goods in society, but the bad are a little bit too pronounced right now that I am on guard.
Absolutely. Actually, one of my good friends, she's Taiwanese American, and she was saying how, she was about to leave, to check on a friend's car that he had left, in his neighborhood. He's abroad, so his car's just sitting there, and so my friend was going to check on his car to make sure it wasn't towed, it was still okay. And she said, for the first time, she was like, oh, like, is that a good idea for me to go out alone? Like, which she had never thought that before. We live in a diverse area. But she's like, that is so effed up that I have now started to have these feelings of not feeling safe.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so we're gonna close up this conversation pretty soon so that we can open up to everybody to ask you questions.
Oh, sure.
Do you have any, do you have any regret?
Regret it just in life?
Yeah, in your upbringing, in your, in how you handle situation, maybe? I don't want to be too broad, like regret as in like in life, because then.
Right. So in terms of upbringing, I think my biggest regret is one of them is certainly the way I got along with my sister, my younger sister, because I was forced to care for her while my parents were gone. So in a way, I was acting as like caretaker for her, and I think that I definitely took my resentment out on her a lot because I felt like I was stuck, stuck with her, and she was like the unlucky person to get my feelings of frustration and resentment and all those things. And we're close now. I mean, we've always been close, but I feel like I didn't treat her as well. And as soon as I had the opportunity to leave, like for college, I just wanted to be gone. I just wanted to leave that house and have different experiences and be on my own. And so I think if I were to go back, knowing what I know now, obviously I would try to not make her my punching bag, So and get therapy a lot sooner. My gosh, I mean, that's such a stigmatized thing in our community, the Asian community, like therapy and showing any kind of vulnerability. But man, if I had known like, oh, therapy, that's a thing, like that's a thing I could like choose to do, I would have done that so much sooner. Yeah.
Which leads to this question. I think I'm gonna close with this question.
Yeah.
Because you're right. You're absolutely right. Like therapy, being vulnerable, iron steel, exterior, which I think I learned to be the other way. I am more, rather than,
open and
yeah. And then when I am not public, I close up, and I want to know what is one thing or several things that people misunderstand you the most. You can take a good minute, think about it. Like what they misunderstand you the most. Because I think I will give you an example. People think that I am happy, fabulous all the time, but the truth is I'm not.
And I think people might think similarly about me, that they always say, oh, you're so like kind and whatever, which I would like to think I am, but also I do have like a very monstrous side to me. I mean, I think I have a temper, I'm impatient, I can be a bitch, like I can be all these things, so that's very much another side of me. And I'm trying to think what else. So like, it's obviously I'm not always a happy person. I'm a human being, very complex. And speaking of like feelings and emotions, I would say one thing that people misunderstand about me is that if I'm crying, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm sad or like upset more than it could be that I'm in a rage and want to throat punch somebody, but it's showing up in the form of tears, which is something I hate. I hate that about myself. I wish if I'm angry, I wish I didn't cry. It's just inevitable. I can't help it. The tears come, but it's like, but actually I'm pissed beyond all measure. And it annoys me that shows up in the form of tears, so.
That is beautiful. I mean, that's a beautiful.
Is it?
It is, because we know you. We know you more now. We know you more now that in a way, my tears will never be that. Never. My tears will be sadness, emotional, melancholy. When I'm angry, when I'm angry.
Girl.
You don't.
Okay.
One more question.
Oh, yeah.
What do you want? This is bigger than life in a way, but just as of right now, what do you want people to remember you by? As of right now, very, very this moment, what you have accomplished, what you have done with the YouTube channel, with your job, with your life. If you want something, that one thing that people to remember you by. Not saying that you're gonna die tomorrow, but
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I would say I would want people to remember me as a good person that always tried her best, and as a creative person who liked to dabble in new things and try to express myself in different ways. But ultimately, yeah, that I was a good person. That I was a good person, and I was a kind person, and I always did my best with everything. I tried.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, so an hour in, if you 29 of you or 30 of you, if you have any question dying to ask,
I haven't even been looking at the chat. Oh my goodness.
Girl, I haven't looked at the chat. I glanced.
This is why I don't do lives. Like, I don't host my own lives because I would be hot mess express trying to like navigate all this. I would not be able to do it. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, if you have any question for Miss Julie, Mrs. Rose here, please drop it in there, and then we'll ask. Any question, fun, sad, it's up to Julie to decide to answer it or not. But you can do fun thing, which hair product she used, what is her skincare routine.
Yes.
I was trying to search you on to tag you on my Facebook, on my on the Cusp page, and I searched for Julie. There's skincare by Julie from Julie, and it has your logo on it.
What?
Your Peekaboorose.
Shut the. Oh, really?
Yes.
Girl.
Is that you? Maybe
You're gonna have to send that. Really? You're gonna have to send that to me. I have no idea what that is.
I will have to find that out. I'm like, do you have a skincare a page? We did not know skincare by Julie. Maybe. Let's see. While I'm finding that, everybody can drop in the comment on what you. I don't know. Let's focus on this right now. Okay, good. Blah blah blah. On the Cusp tarot, what type of stone is in your wedding band? Ooh.
Oh, okay. So this is this one right here is a sapphire, and then the rest are diamonds. So yeah, sapphire. I just wanted something a little with some color. I love color. So, yeah.
What is your favorite crystal?
Oh gosh, my favorite crystal. I have a few. I would say I love bloodstone. I love amethyst. I love what's it called? Botswana agate.
Okay.
Is another one. So, and smoky quartz is always a good one.
Oh, yes. Smoky quartz. There's something magical about smoky quartz.
There is, right? Yeah.
I don't know the grayness, the blackness in it, but you still
beautiful.
See through it.
It really is.
I just have to say that. Thank you. Okay.
I agree, Natalie. I agree.
You get a car. You get a car.
You get a car.
Do you ever think of getting another cat?
No.
I
mean, not at this moment when I already have two. So yeah, I at one point did have three when Juju was alive. That was just one too many, I think. And at this point, with the twins, introducing another cat, that's like World War Kitty. I just don't think that's a good idea. So I feel like, maybe after the twins, they've crossed the Rainbow Bridge, hopefully late down the road, then maybe. But yeah.
Okay.
Not at this point.
Did we just stumble into a makeup channel? Honestly, you look fabulous.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Secret. Give us a quick secret, your personal Julie skincare routine secret.
Skincare routine? Oh gosh, it's pretty simple, but I will say sunscreen, peoples. Sunscreen. Every day, all day. I don't care if it's cloudy. Because if you don't use sunscreen, then why are you doing anything else? You can just forget the rest. You can forget the night creams and whatever. Sunscreen is so important. So that's my first tip. Sunscreen. And then really it's just kind of I don't know, like whatever drug, like a drugstore cleanser, like CeraVe is a good brand because it's really gentle. So that's what my dermatologist recommends because I have very, very sensitive and just prone skin to breakouts and rashes and all that stuff. So yeah, keep it simple.
Remember that sunscreen, ladies.
And moisturize.
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 What is your favorite tarot deck?
Oh gosh,
Ooh,
no,
girl.
no, that's like that is such a cruel question. That is such a well,
immediately out of your mind. What do you think right now? Like immediately.
Probably. Well, one of my old ride or dies is Everyday Witch is a good one.
Yeah. I learned that from you actually. I was like, I don't know if I like it. And then I saw your.
I didn't even know if I wasn't even sold on it in the beginning, right? But
and then I went, you know what? I'll give it a try. And then I love it. I love it.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Let's see. Is this her secret life? Her Gemini coming out? Oh, girl. Maybe.
Maybe. Secret life I didn't know I had.
Right. Let's see what else. I think that's about it. Is there any other? Did you draw behind you?
No, that was a birthday gift from my in-laws. They found it at an antique shop. They were antiquing with Matt. Matt likes to go antiquing. And so they found that and yeah, thought it would be something I like. So they had it framed and it's it's very pretty.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Annika, for adding me for all those questions. But I think we have answered all the questions already. So yeah. Okay, so the interview, the interview portion has completed, and now you have 30 seconds to a minute, full stage, on the spotlight, whatever you want to do. You can do a reading, you can talk about your tarot decks, you can have a personal message on what you think
Oh gosh.
It's in the email. It's an email.
I know, you're right. And I totally forgot. I did not prepare for this part. So I guess I just want to say thank you to everybody who came for the live chat. And I really appreciate you all. And I hope, we continue making these connections. And thank you to WAI for inviting me because it's been overdue, WAI, that we would have a chat. So just keep up the good fight and don't get jaded. That's it, really.
Logo slogan for Miss Julie Rose, Peekaboorose. Keep up the good fight. Don't get jaded.
That should be a t-shirt, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Stamp, seal, get into production. That will be a stretch goal for your tarot deck. If you get $10 million, you'll get a t-shirt.
Boom.
Learning. Okay, so thank you so much, Julie.
Thank you, WAI.
Goodbye.
Thank
to
you
Julie.
all, everyone in the chat. Thank you.
All right.
Sorry, I suck at looking at the chat. I'm so bad at that. I can't.
Girl, you are the guest, and you have done a fabulous job. It's so good to finally talk to you live in person and get to know you a little bit deeper. And then I hope to keep doing this. And then
you got Kim coming up.
I know, I got Kim, and then one more.
Ooh, do we know? Did you, girl?
You got to stay on.
Okay.
So that there will be an announcement. And hopefully in May for the AAPI Heritage Month, maybe we'll find a date that we can everybody that I've interviewed that are Asian descent can come together. Then we'll do a round table of celebration. Everybody bring some food. We'll do a mukbang.
We'll do like a mukbang.
Yeah.
Mukbang. Yeah.
Yes, right. Then,
yeah.
And then just
sounds
celebration. Great. We don't have to talk about anything. Maybe we still need to talk about something heinous that is, hopefully we don't need to talk that much, in 2 months.
Just eat good food.
Yeah, and celebration.
Yeah, exactly.
So everybody say bye to Julie.
Bye, everyone. Thank you again.
And then, okay, so remember the next week we have Kim from Fable's Den, who is the creator of The Way of Panda. The Way of Panda Tarot. I'm so excited to interview her. And she's one of those people that we chat kind of, but we never get to like talk to in person. And she is fierce. She is mystical. There's some mystical panderness about her. So I'm super, super excited about that. And then the following week, we got this. I found this such a when I talked to her, I'm like, hey, let's schedule this interview, and I need a screenshot. Or I need a headshot of your face. And she's like, I'll just use my my YouTube channel. I was like, are you sure? So here we go. It's literally a pair of glasses. Annika from Tarot Tube and Tea from her channel Nobody Here 2020. She was like, just use the glasses because I don't want to show my face in a thumbnail. So there you have it. It's the most artistic, I have to say, thumbnail that I've ever been. And that will be on a Saturday, April 17th at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And in New Zealand over there, it will be a Sunday at noon. So for the other half of the world, please be mindful. But either way, when I push public on that video, then you can just click on the reminder and you will be set to go. You got a reminder, right? So that's that. So next week on Friday is Kim, and then the following Saturday will be Annika from Nobody Here 2020. And I'm so happy everybody came, and everybody's gonna give Annika a hard time. Like, what? Like, she's like she's Prince. She's just a symbol. She's just the glasses, and that's that. So thank you so much. Remember to subscribe and all those good stuff. Turn on the notification bell. And I'm going to plug it one more time. Juli's decks are all in Make Playing Card. Search for Peekaboorose and you can probably see all of them. Drop some love. Support Asian creator. Stop Asian hate. All those good stuff. You all know that by now. And have a good week. I love you all. Thank you so much for sticking around with me. And boop, I will see you very, very soon. Bye.